So the immediate plan is that my wife and girlfriend are going to be staying at the house for a little bit longer, and I think they'll be moving on after New Year. I keep saying wife and girlfriend because I think it's just easier, less confusing than using names or whatever. But I've got to admit, I'm not looking forward to when they actually do go. That won't be a very nice bit. I don't know whether I hope they do it while I'm there or while I'm out at work one day. I don't know. Seeing them go won't be very nice, but then again, knowing I'm coming home to an empty house won't be any better. I don't know how I'm going to cope with it. I don't know how I'm going to fill my time. I am the kind of person that doesn't need to be cuddling all the time and holding hands all the time. I don't even need to be in the same room as people all the time. For example, if I was sat downstairs watching TV and they went upstairs to watch TV, I'd be alright with that because I know they're there. But when the eventual does happen, I might still be sat downstairs on my own watching the telly or whatever, but I will also know that they are not there. And I've got to admit, I'm dreading it. I really am dreading it. I keep getting that sinking feeling in my stomach and my chest when I think about it. I think I'm so worried because I've been there before. A long time ago, when I was about 18, I lived with a girl, and we broke up, and suddenly I was on my own again, and I hated it. I absolutely hated it, to the point I actually gave the house up myself and went and lived back at my dad's. Unfortunately this time I can't do that. Sadly my dad passed away a few years ago. I never had my mother anyhow. My grandparents are gone. The only family I've really got is my brother, and he has a full house, you know. I can't even really go couch surfing at his house, and obviously any mates I do have, which isn't many, I've got to admit, a lot of them, well all of them, have got their own families, and they couldn't have me living there for any length of time, really, especially just to prevent me from being on my own. So it's something I am absolutely not looking forward to, and at this moment in time I don't really know how to deal with it. I don't really know how to deal with just the thought of it, let alone having to actually do it. I've already had people say to me, you know, you're going to be alright, everything will be fine, you know, you'll be fine, things will work out, all this and the other. And I'm sure I will be fine in the end. But it's sort of right now. And that first period of time, however long it lasts, before I actually do get used to being on my own. You see, I'm in no great rush to meet another woman, and I'm certainly not in any rush to have another woman move into my house. I mean, I might eventually meet someone, I don't know. But I've also got my daughter to consider. While I understand I cannot live my life to suit everybody else, I do have feelings to consider. For example, if I do meet a woman and she and my daughter don't really get on so well, then it would be extremely unfair of me to have the woman move into my house, into our house, and make my daughter unhappy. Because at the end of the day, within my household, my daughter is absolutely my number one priority. But on the same hand, on the other hand, I should say, I can't be miserable for the rest of my life. You know, I can't be lonely for the rest of my life. I think the other thing that's worrying me as well is that my dad wasn't very lucky in love either. In fact, he was extremely unlucky. And he spent a lot of his life alone. Other than having me and my family, he didn't have any real constant companionship either. And it was actually from approximately the age I'm at now, ironically. And, you know, I saw what it did to him. It made him really, really depressed, and he wasn't very happy. And while I always understood it, he did become very clingy. He'd ring me up every day, every single day, but he'd just talk about any old bollocks, just to have somebody to talk to for half an hour or whatever. And likewise, you know, I'd go to his place and visit, and you know, when it came to having to leave because I had other things to do or whatever, it was an absolute nightmare trying to get out of his house, because he just wanted you to stay a little bit longer. I mean, I sort of understood it all then. I did get it, but Christ almighty, I'm really understanding it now. I've actually spoke to both my kids, and I've kind of apologised in advance if I become very clingy like that, like their granddad did, my dad. And I promised them that I'd really try not to. But I can imagine that it's going to be extremely difficult to not inadvertently, I suppose, bother people all the time. I don't mind having time to myself. I like my own company sometimes, you know. I have a couple of hobbies that I like to do. This, for example, and I like to make things, but then that's great, and I love doing it. But you can have enough of your own company, and eventually get to a point where you just want to talk to someone and sit with them, you know. And I know I'm not going to have that option. I guess all I can do is take one day at a time. I know I'm going to be depressed and stressed out, I suppose. Even now, just talking and thinking about it, sort of get that tightness in the chest, you know, from, I suppose it's from anxiety. Maybe I get that really horrible heavy feeling in your chest. Well, like I said before, thankfully we plan to, and I have done so far, remained civil, amicable, and most importantly, friends. And I genuinely hope that will continue. It has even been suggested that occasionally we all go out. You know, we like to go particular places, and we've kind of talked about still going them places, but all together, you know. Obviously not as a relationship type of thing, but just as mates, like you do with your mates, you know. You go to the pub with your mates, or you go to the cinema with your mates, that kind of thing. So it's really nice that that might be on the cards, and hopefully it'll happen sometime today, mate. But obviously, only time will tell. I mean, it is going to be hard, obviously. I'm not happy about the situation. But I've just got to get on with it, I suppose. Got no choice really, have I? You know? Still got bills to pay. Still got to feed myself, etc, etc. So basically I've still got to go to work. Not much more I can do about it really. I guess what I'm going to be doing, I'm not going to set myself to a weekly video upload of all that YouTube shit. I don't care. I really don't care. I'm probably just going to record something as and when I've got something to say, or if I've got something to say. We'll see. I'll actually be really surprised if anybody watches these videos anyway.